Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. OKlatober Spooktacular continues. This time it's the Constantine Theater in Pawhuska. And we wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't haunted. I'm Brett.
And I am Harley.
So long before the pioneer woman opened her mercantile and her pizza shop, tons of history. This town was built by the Osage Nation. I mean, we're talking 1926. I mean, all kinds of things were happening in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. But apparently there's a lot more things happening in the Constantine Theater.
Yeah, if you want to hear a few spooky stories, I think this is a great place to find them. And if you find yourself in the Pawhuska Theater by yourself after dark,
good luck.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you. Well, roll that beautiful boo footage. So we've been up Pawhuska way, but really haven't talked about Pawhuska a whole lot.
Which is kind of, it's a mark against us. I'm going to go with that.
Well, okay, to be fair, we haven't talked about probably the most popular Pawhuskan redrumming, but we will.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But go ahead. No.
But Pawhuska in general, I mean, it's steeped in history. You're talking, 86 of the 98 buildings in the downtown Pawhuska area are on the National Register of Historic Places.
But what my question is, 86 of 98, not bad. What are the 12 that aren't?
You would be the person that.
Well, I know. It's more of a rhetorical question. I'm not expecting you to drop some factoid, but there are 12 buildings that need to get their together.
Or there are 12 buildings that were built after 1980.
I know, but the whole town looks like it was built before 1880.
The very interesting thing about Pawhuska, at least from my standpoint, is that there's a real fusion almost of like Native American culture and Western culture kind of melding together.
Right. And you can so many small towns you can tell it used to be, they tried to not necessarily erase, but tried to modernize too much and try to add too much to, I don't know that, I think they kind of takes away from that facade.
I think it's a bigger problem than that. I think there are too many towns where the residents don't have the vision to see this building built in 1880 has so much character, and instead somebody goes, yeah, let's just bulldoze that and we'll put in whatever.
Right, whatever the next thing is that doesn't succeed.
Right.
And we've been to a lot of towns, small towns, throughout Oklahoma that have this character quality that really spend the time and the effort. And after talking to a lot of the people on the Main Street associations and Chamber of Commerce's, they really try to, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. I mean, highlight that quality. And Pawhuska is definitely one of those that's doing that.
Right, and the place that we're talking about today is the Constantine Theater. It's one of the oldest buildings in town, one of the oldest working theaters in the state, and of course it is listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
How many here? And again, this is a rhetorical question. You probably don't have the answer, but I'm going to ask. I don't know of a lot of theaters that are listed on the National Register.
I don't actually have the National Register list.
Right.
So I don't know.
But I think it's probably not very many. Because, again, I think this falls into one of those categories where a lot of times you see small towns turn a theater into a thrift store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen, and I'm not going to name names, but I think it's cool because they had a bunch of VHS tapes, but that's not the point. I think when you can still utilize the space and still give, it still breathes that life, that historic charm.
Right, and this place is a beautiful landmark on Main Street. It was originally a hotel, though.
Really?
It was built in 1895. It was later turned into a theater in 1914 by C.C. Constantine. He was a Greek immigrant who dreamed of turning it into like the finest opera house in the Southwest.
So not a demon hunter, like we've been trained to believe about Constantine.
Well, I mean,
everything I thought I knew about Constantine has just been shattered.
Did you know he was from Greece? I didn't.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
So, again, it was originally a hotel, the Hotel Pawhuska in the 1800s. He did a great job. He turned it into a premier opera house, kind of remodeling it into the Greek revival style. And it had a lot of success in the 1920s era. The theater hosted 6 opera stars from New York Metropolitan Opera. They had vaudeville acts, silent movies, boxing matches.
At a theater. I mean, it makes sense.
It does, for the time.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things I saw was they had an on-stage circus with a baby elephant and a dog and pony act.
You know, they literally had a dog and pony show. Kids, if you've ever heard the expression dog and pony show, they actually had a dog and pony show at the Pawhuska's Constantine Theater.
So after that, it was a theater for a long time. Until the 70s, it was just basically a movie theater.
Right.
And then it kind of fell into disrepair. In the 80s, they had a big remodel. It was done by a group of Pawhuskan citizens led by an Eileen Monger. They restored the theater to its former glory and got it listed, like I said, on the National Register of Historic Places and the National League of Historic Theaters, basically after 100 years after it was built.
So, Mike, we've talked about this before, and I'm not asking a question you don't have the answer for. I think the best thing you can do for a place like this is register it with the National Historic Registry, because we've done some research in the past. They can't tear it down.
Right.
They can't change the name. There are so many things you can't do once it's become, and I think there's another town not far from here, Yukon, that's fighting to keep their co-op silos from being torn down because it's not. How do you not list that? Not to sidetrack, but how do you not list something like that on the National Historic Register to keep that stuff from happening?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a travesty when you lose a part of your community's identity.
It's literally called Yukon's Best. I think the best thing they could do another thing we've talked about before, and I get excited about this stuff because I like what they've made the theater into still a multi-purpose venue that has maintained its identity, not just from the storefront, but to backstage. They still use it for performing arts.
Absolutely, and they do plays, classic films, Branson-style music shows, musicals, that sort of stuff. The theater has a seating capacity of almost 600, and it's open for community events by appointment. And there's some fine print on that we'll get to towards the end of the show. But like I said before, it's located in downtown Pawhuska. It's 110 West Main Street.
I will say this, I talked about Ree Drummond in the beginning. If you're listening to this, you know who she is. If you have Food Network, if you live in Oklahoma, there's a chance 1 in 3 have waited in line to get into the Mercantile restaurant. What Ree Drummond has done for Pawhuska is amazing. She owns 3 a pizza place across the street from the Mercantile, the bakery. It's a huge draw. Go ahead.
Okay, just a little side bit of information.
Yeah.
Before Constantine bought the hotel, he owned the bakery next door to the hotel.
Really?
Yes, I thought that was an interesting little bit of.
Well, there's a chance that Ree Drummond owns a few of the buildings that are on the historic registry for sure. Side note about her: I've had people go up there and not like some of their food, but they brought it back to me, and I'm like, this tastes just like my grandma made. This is perfect. Bring me back if you go, bring me back a chicken fried steak. I'm telling you, it's out of this world delicious. Pawhuska is a hidden treasure, and people are going up there in droves right now.
And some people have never left. Can we talk about the Can we talk about the spooky side of Constantine Theater?
I think I think it goes without saying that a theater that's hosted so many different events, so many for what? Well over 100?
Well over 100 years, yeah.
Well over 100 years, that they're bound to have a few that never checked out.
Right. So before it was a theater,
yeah.
Like I said before, it was the Pawhuska House Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
At least 2 people died there.
Yeah.
In 1895, a man died of pneumonia, and then a decade later, a woman died of typhoid fever.
I mean, that's a pretty good stretch. Nobody died from any viral infection in 10 years. That's pretty good, right?
I think we're going to have to cut that part out.
Why? Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, as far as hauntings go...
Mm-hmm. Wait, though.
Yes.
Was the lady... Was her name Typhoid Mary?
No.
No, okay.
It was Typhoid Sherry.
Typhoid Sherry.
The hauntings, though, they go back to 1905. The local newspaper documented a ghost sighting on stage during a performance.
When was statehood? 1901? I believe so. I'm sorry. I'm just asking. I think statehood was 1901. 1907, okay. Oh, wow. 2 years before statehood. Jeez.
So there are a lot of ghosts attributed to the Constantine Theater.
As there should be.
So I guess the most well-known is the Constantine ghost, which some people say is a former 1900s actor named Enrico Caruso.
Why can't it be C.C. Constantine? I was kind of hoping the Constantine ghost would be the ghost of Constantine.
You would think.
I mean, that's the house that he built. If you're going on the atypical haunting, you always see the ghost of the person that proprietor or blah blah blah.
Right, and one of the ghosts is reported to be Sappho Constantine Brown, the daughter of the theater owner. But I don't know that I saw anything that would lead me to believe that Constantine himself was one of the specters roaming around.
What are the rules to becoming a ghost? I think rule number 1, you gotta die, right?
Well, I would hope so.
How does Pops not get in? I don't understand how Constantine Sr. isn't in there somewhere. But anyway, I digress.
So there was another ghost that is spotted. It's a woman dressed with a button-down dress. Mm-hmm. And her apparition is spotted most often inside the balcony. Mm-hmm. So again, the sightings are all well and good.
Right.
People see this, people see that. The stuff that starts to scare me, that gets the hackles up on my neck, is the sounds.
Yeah, if I was going to say more than anything, I'm blind as a bat anyway. Tara will try to hold up a text from across the room and go, "You should see this. This is hilarious. Can you see it?" I'm like, it's this big. It doesn't matter how close I am. So with nearsighted astigmatism, I'm probably not going to see a ghost. But here, I've got sensitive hearing.
During the renovation, workmen claimed that they heard phantom footsteps, and they also saw an apparition of the girl in question, the button-down dress girl, which may or may not have been Sappho Brown.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But witnesses have also reported hearing a barroom brawl.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I want to hear recordings. That'd be cool. I can't imagine though hearing a barroom brawl. That'd be a little much. I'd be looking for the sound. I'd be trying to eliminate any and all possibilities.
Yeah, but when you talk about a barroom brawl, that's a lot of noise.
That's a lot of noise.
And it's very specific.
Yeah.
I would assume there's not a whole lot of confusion as to what you're hearing.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I mean, there have been plenty of reports.
There have.
With not just every day. I mean, we're talking people that are,
pillars of the community.
Pillars of the community.
So the Constantine Arts Council Trust Authority, Vanessa Rouse, she is quoted as saying, "You can just feel it. You can feel it in this place." Recalls hearing a sigh heard over a microphone, but the microphone was turned off.
Weird.
And Serena Jeffers was with her, and she said that she heard it, like an exhale, but louder. She turned off the microphone and heard it again by her side.
No.
And she was like, that wasn't me.
Nope. Sounds scare me more than things that I see because I can dispel things that I see.
Yeah, all the scary stuff.
Yeah.
All the scary stuff as far as the Constantine Theater goes. The really scary stuff to me are the sounds. There was another person, the president of the Constantine Arts Council Trust Authority, Garrett Hartness. He heard sounds of locked doors being opened and echoing through the theater when it was empty. He heard that like 3 different times, the same sound, like the heebie-jeebies, dude. I'm telling you, if I know a door is locked and I hear it open.
And especially if I know without a doubt I'm the only one in there.
Absolutely. But the worst one for me, and I think it is for you as well.
I don't.
More than one person has reported hearing the sounds of a child's voice.
Kids are scary. I'm
All
sorry.
kids are scary.
They are. Tara had a dream. She woke me up and she said, I had a terrible dream. I said, what was it? Okay, so to set the stage, she's been watching MasterChef. So now pregnant plus food plus being home with a kid is creating nightmares. Anyway, long story short, she said, I had to crack these crabs open. And they looked like crabs at first, and then they looked like Carson, and I had to cut their tongues out. I'm like, what are you? I've never had a dream like that.
Oh, that's
She's
horrible.
Like, yeah, and I was crying, and then I was like, where was I? She goes, you weren't there. I'm like, you bet I'm not there. No. So yeah, like kids are frightening. And then when they enter your nightmares.
Yeah.
No thanks.
So, as far as evidence, though, you're talking about hearing our recordings, having recorded evidence. There have been at least 4 different paranormal investigators conclude that this theater is haunted. The Nowata Bartlesville paranormal investigators say they caught unexplainable shadows and sounds at the Constantine.
That's enough for me.
Yeah.
But are you is there part of you know what scares you, but is there part of you that's curious? You want to hear it for yourself?
Oh, I'd definitely go.
Yeah, I would go for sure. But if it happened, would it be the first or second sound that you'd go, okay, I'm out of here?
Okay, if I'm there with a group of paranormal investigators, I'm good.
Right. Why do you feel like they're blessed?
I don't know. Just in general, like if it was me and you, I would probably be all right. But if it was me by myself, I left my phone in there and I had to go in by myself. Dude, I would lose it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man. Especially if you heard a child's voice.
You hear a child's voice and then the door slams that's locked?
Yeah.
Like, I'm out.
Yeah. Didn't you hear a kid's voice one day when we were here? You did.
Yeah, we still haven't explained that because there's no way that there has been anybody pass away in the house that we live in.
Do you know that?
I'm 99.999% positive.
Yeah, a kid's voice and that bicycle bell ring. That was enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't like to be here by myself.
So I guess the moral of the story is the show must go on.
Even from beyond the grave. I hate this. So cliche. You can't avoid it. You cannot avoid the tropes.
So let's talk about fine print.
Sure.
COVID-19 kicked the Constantine in the jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
They locked down all of their viewings and that most of their activities were closed down.
Yeah.
But they're currently not offering tours. But it looks like they do have events planned coming up shortly. So if you are interested in going to an historic theater, or if you're interested in getting your socks scared off of you, I would say, keep an eye out on their schedule and be ready to go when they're back in business.
Well, if you find yourself in Pawhuska, if you've survived the night in the Constantine Theater, go over and say hi to Ree Drummond. When you say hi to Ree Drummond, tell her that you heard about her little bitty restaurant from the guys over at the OnlyinOKShow.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's no way that you've heard about the Pioneer Woman anywhere other than on the OnlyinOKShow.
This is it. I mean, I don't even think, does she have a TV show or something? I don't know if she does, but tell her you found it here.
This has been the OnlyinOKShow. I'm Harley.
And I'm Brett.
And we're out of here. Peace.
Constantine Theater in Pawhuska. Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.